Hello everyone, welcome back to Pika Tyler, where you come for the Pika and stay for the Tyler.
Are you seriously doing this right now?
Bear, what else are we supposed to do? We have to live somewhere, and wherever we live, we're gonna have to make videos.
You are way too dedicated.
Yeah, but seeing as we're in a car today, I want to take the time to talk about a series that means a lot to me. And it has a bunch of cars in there, with Mario thrown in there somewhere as well. I'm of course talking about Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, a series I'm sure needs no introduction, but I'm gonna give it one anyways. Starting with Super Mario Kart in 1992 for us American people, the game was made as an easier racing game to get into, as opposed to F-Zero, which my stupid dumb caveman brain is too slow for. Fast forward to now, it's not only one of the most recognizable game franchises ever, but you could even say it's more recognizable than mainline Mario. It's that popular. It really says a lot when Mario Kart is a consistent bestseller on pretty much every Nintendo system it's been on. People love the series for its accessibility. It also being a racing game works out perfectly for me, because I love racing games. I love racing so much you could call me a racist.
I am not saying that. I don't know why I put that in the script. That is fucked up. Wait a second. I'm supposed to be homeless!
It's also a game that brings forth broken friendships. But you already knew that. So this opening rant is pretty much just a glorified way of saying that I'm unbelievably biased towards the series. Not an original statement to make, I know. But just keep that in mind if I start acting unfair in my thoughts on the games in this video. Though I'm really gonna try and give my experiences and stories with each one. So we review, like the rest of your videos.
Alright, that's enough out of you.
So yeah, let's just talk about Mario Kart today. I don't like this one. No, I'm not gonna go over the things everyone hates about this game. The map taking up the entire bottom half of the screen, the game having pretty bad rubber banding, Donkey Kong Jr., easily aging the worst out of the entire series, bad drifting, repeated track themes, and overall just feeling really unfun. You just did.
Damn it!
Okay, yeah, this one really isn't that fun to go back to. Mainly because there's absolutely no reason to, but every Mario Kart that released after this is like 10 times more fun. I didn't really grow up with this one though, so that might have something to do with it. I played the Masterpiece for it in Smash 4, and I tried that weird-ass Amiibo tap service on the Wii U, and that was about it until the Switch. And even then, I played it for like 15 minutes and dropped it forever until picking it up again for this review. Of course, that's to be expected, because this game set the groundwork for the rest of the series. You race around the track, you got items, and you try and kill each other. It's fun. Just not here. Don't get me wrong, under the right circumstances, you can still have some fun with this game, and it deserves to be remembered for creating the entire series. But as for me, I'm just not too fond of this one most of the time. I'd rather play anything else. Anything. It's like a buffet. If it's the only thing left on the table, I'll eat it, but I'll go for literally anything else first. Also, they made Luigi look like a fucking dumbass. The N64. A good console? I don't know. Or care for that matter. I remember finding out my family had one in the attic. This is around the time when I was really getting into Nintendo and just video games as a whole, so finding out my family had this ancient ass piece of hardware made me feel like I was the shit. And looking at the game library we had, well, 2 out of 4 ain't bad. Mickey Speedway was fun, fight me. We ended up getting a few more games down the line, but I remember specifically one day a package with 2 Nintendo 64 games came in the mail for me. And those games were Pokemon Stadium and Mario Kart 64. I could make a whole ass other video about Pokemon Stadium whenever I get the chance to sit down and replay it, but whatever, we only care about Mario Kart 64. This one's fun. Fun fact, the copy I got that day was actually 100% completed. You could tell because of the title screen. Other than that, though, I don't really have a lot of other memories with this one. I love the tracks. Toad's Turnpike gives off nostalgic vibes of driving through the city late at night. Yoshi Valley being a labyrinth where you have no idea what the hell's going on is such an interesting track idea that they absolutely ruined in 8. Choco Mountain is cool simply because of that one trick Summoning Salt taught me about. Calamari Desert is admittedly a pretty basic track, but I like the idea of the train affecting the race. But I'll be honest, I think I like them all because of what they become in future Mario Karts. Don't get me wrong, they're fun here, but I can't necessarily say they're amazing. But like most of the other games I'm going to be talking about, there's almost no reason to go back to it now because everything that was in this game has been perfected in future games. I'm really struggling for other things to talk about here. I like those speedrun strats Summoning Salt talked about. Did you guys know the characters are actually 2D sprites, not models? Oh, you knew that already? That's common knowledge? Cool. Now, I'm not trying to bash this game or anything. I do think it's a fun time when you can get a game going. I never got to do that, though. Whenever I had friends over, they would always want to play something else because this game was too old. Don't take any of this the wrong way, though. I do think Mario Kart 64 is a good game, though I really think that a lot of the other games in the series improve upon what it does a lot more. But hey, at least there's battle mode. It was in Super Mario Kart, but it was so worthless there that I didn't really feel like I wanted to mention it. But here, it's fucking raw as hell. 3 balloons, no timer, kill each other. It's a great setup that people say is the best battle mode in the entire series.
Also never got to play it back in the day, because I never had friends. Very common thing in literally every story that I've ever told on this fucking channel.
Put that shit away, you got us evicted.
Move on already, fuck!
Now, just like Mario Kart 64, I grew up with this one, in the sense that I own the game and played it some, but not enough to the point where I'm super in love with it. Now, I believe this game is in between Super and 64 quality-wise, and it makes sense, because this game looks like Mario Kart 64 running on a GBA with completely flat tracks like Super, and with a Luigi voice that sounds like he's sucking down helium. Now, Super Circuit is just fine. Everything else is better, you heard it already in the 64 section. I like the themes for the tracks, but they become much better in literally any other Mario Kart that isn't this game. Sky Garden, Cheeseland, Ribbon Road, Snowland, and Sunset Wilds, all of them mainly because of the music, but they're all just so much better in the later games. Except for Sky Garden, that one was good out the gate. I'll admit though, I like most of the tracks here mainly because of the music, because looking at them, they are nothing more than just infinitely more interesting SNES tracks, and that helps me segue into the retro tracks. Well, they're kinda retro tracks. They're just the SNES tracks again, just on Super Circuit's engine, which I guess is kinda cool. You essentially get a remake of Super Mario Kart inside the new Mario Kart, but they're still Super Mario Kart tracks, so they're kinda still bad? Okay, look, at the time, Super Circuit was amazing, just like 64, but as it stands now, it's nothing special. It's still got funky drifting, controls that still don't feel super solid, and I never got to try multiplayer with it because I never owned a link cable or another friend that owned a GBA. Man, now that I think about it, Mario Kart had a pretty rocky start. These games, at their best, are just okay for what they are, and they don't really go any further beyond that. Like, outside of Super Mario Kart, I think these games are quality, but there's almost no reason to go back to any of them. I guess we'll just have to sit back and see where it goes from here. Okay, so this is apparently where it gets good. Double Dash is admittedly a pretty weird game in the series. It has 2 people per kart, making the gameplay loop so much more unique. And mechanically, this is the best Mario Kart has felt yet. So it's only fitting that this is the only Mario Kart that I didn't grow up with.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, okay, well, I'm sorry.
My first console was a Wii, and I didn't know what a GameCube was until the Wii U came out, and even then, I had no idea about Virtual Console until 2015, the second to last year of the Wii U's life, and even when I found out about it, Nintendo just fucking hates the GameCube now. They don't want anyone to play these games. So I'm sorry that I couldn't control the generation I was born into. Now, I played this game a little bit. I played it with one of my friends in the 8th grade when he got his hands on a GameCube, but we only played like 3 races. And I've seen my online friends play it through Discord a lot, but I've never really played the game under my own roof. So I'm in no real place to talk about this one. So I'm gonna do it anyway. Mario Kart Double Dash. It's Mario Kart, alright. I think me not growing up with it is gonna automatically give me shittier opinions about the game, but whatever. This is totally the most unique game in the series because you can race 2 Luigis at once. Look at me living the dream. I remember seeing this back in the day being like,
that's illegal.
but it adds a lot of depth to the gameplay. It introduces 2 items into the mix, which will let you be even more creative with item play, and with the ability to be able to switch your character on the fly lets you have 2 items at once. This is a really great mechanic that I wish would come back eventually. And yes, I know Mario Kart 8 Deluxe does the whole double item thing as well, but you can't switch the items back and forth, and after doing it here, I'm pissed it's not there. Another new addition are special items, which are unique items that only one character pair has. Mario and Luigi have fireballs, Toad and Toadette have golden mushrooms, Wario and Waluigi have bombs, the babies have chain chomps, Petey, Piranha, and King Boo cheat, and Peach and Daisy have hearts. It's another cool mechanic that encourages you to mix and match characters so you have access to more items. All the mechanics here are great and fine-tuned to perfection, and the new ones add so much to the gameplay. This is the best feeling Mario Kart by far. The tracks here are great too. Mushroom Bridge and Mushroom City again remind me of driving through the city and across bridges. I think the Penis and Peach Beach is funny, and I like Sherbert Land. Wario Coliseum is fucking insane, and also Nintendo hates it for some reason because they just refuse to bring it back. Dino Dino Jungle is like driving through Jurassic Park, and Daisy Cruiser really puts me in the mindset of what it would be like to be on the Titanic. You know, because it's a cruise ship. That was like the most shoehorned in thing I could have fucking done. Cut that. This is the first Mario Kart where I can comfortably say that in this game, they're all really, really good. I've mentioned it a few times already, but this is where the series starts to get really good. Of course, 64 and Super Circuit are quality games, yada yada yada, I said it again already. But now we're at a point where all the games start to feel really, really great. And this game has enough setting it apart from the rest of the series to warrant going back to it. I am actively fucking angry at myself for not growing up with this game because it's really fucking good. I love it. And like I said, Double Dash is really the only game in the series that I can see people going back to outside of nostalgia. Like, I love me some Mario Kart Wii, but I don't really have a reason to pull that one out just like I would with Double Dash, because there's so much here you can't get in any other Mario Kart.
But who am I to say? I didn't grow up with this one, so I think my opinion means absolute jack shit to anyone who is watching this video.
Did you seriously burn through the car battery so you could play Double Dash for the first time?
For the last time, Bear, get off my fucking ass!
Hey guys, it's everyone's favorite Mario Kart game! I think. It's probably Double Dash, but I see a lot more love for this one nowadays. And I've actually played this one, so my opinion can matter this time. I'm gonna get some shit for my opinions on this one, but I don't get it. Sure, I never had anyone to play this game with in multiplayer, again, so I don't have any super amazing memories with it, but I'm just gonna come out and say it anyways. This game is really overhyped.
Get off the stage.
Now I understand that me saying that shortened my lifespan until the end of this week, but hear me out. When it comes to racing, this is a pretty meh Mario Kart. Not bad, but I don't know, man. The physics never really felt right to me. Nothing you do in this game really has the weight that all the other Mario Karts have. The mechanics are pretty deep and interesting, all things considered, but like I said, I never really feel any weight to what I'm doing in this game. In Mario Kart, you want to feel every single movement you take, and while it's not as bad as something like Tour, where there's absolutely no momentum or physics to be heard of, something about it just doesn't feel right in this game. Part of this might be because I'm playing on an emulator for footage, and I'm so used to having analog turning in Mario Kart that when I go back to digital it fucks with my brain, but whatever. Regardless though, I still enjoy a lot from this game, disregarding my opinions on the controls. Case in point, the tracks are really, really damn good. Well, most of them at least. DK Pass, Delfino Square, Peach Gardens, Waluigi Pinball, get the fuck out of here! I know everyone says that Waluigi Pinball is the greatest track to ever grace Mario Kart, and I don't agree with that, but it's popular for a reason. It's a really damn good track. Of course, you have tracks like Figure 8 Circuit, Mario Circuit, and Shroom Ridge, which have nothing going on, but other than that, there's some decent stuff in here. And if the new tracks aren't doing anything for you, there are 16 more tracks for you to play around in. Mario Kart DS is the first Mario Kart to include tracks from previous games, asterisk. Super Circuit did this, as I mentioned earlier, but we don't care about that shit anymore. Mario Kart DS includes 4 tracks from each Mario Kart that came before, and I don't think they really cared when picking the tracks. There are some good picks in here, Mushroom Bridge, Sky Garden, and that's it. Okay, that's a little bit of a lie, but even the other interesting tracks like Yoshi Circuit, Baby Park, Choco Mountain, and Banshee Boardwalk are so dumbed down in this game. They're not terrible, but you can tell that they're significantly worse than what they were in their original games. And it also doesn't really help that half the tracks had to be from Super Circuit and Super Mario Kart. And don't get me wrong, I'll take a Sky Garden or 2 any day of the week, but most of these tracks have super basic layouts that don't exactly warrant being half the retro track selection. And it also doesn't really help that for the GBA tracks, they picked 2 circuit tracks, a Bowser's Castle, and Sky Garden, which, excluding Sky Garden, are by far some of the lamest themes they could have gone with. I don't think the retro tracks in this game are anything special, but if I keep bashing them, I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite later on in the video. So I'm just gonna say, more tracks are more tracks, and I'll take them regardless, but they could have been so much cooler. Now, the racing in DS is pretty lame, but it does make up for it in 2 aspects: battle mode and mission mode. Let's talk about battle mode first. I'm of the firm opinion that Mario Kart DS has the best battle mode in the entire series. Yeah, that's right, I can like this game. Balloon Battle is back and better than ever in this game, and by that I mean it's basically the same damn thing as the last few iterations, with one tweak that changes the game drastically. You have to blow up your balloons. A Virgin would blow up all 3 balloons right away to start off, but by doing that, the items you get are a lot more basic. But if you only have 1 balloon, you get the really good items in the game. This is an amazing risk-reward function that makes Balloon Battle the best in the entire series. Take that, Mario Kart 64. You're not special. But just like Mario Kart 64, I never got to play it that much. Then there's also Shine Runners, which is also pretty good. You have to collect as many shines as you can. People who don't die horribly. It's great. Both battle modes here are really good. Then there's Mission Mode. This is Mario Kart DS's crowning achievement, and is the only reason why you would ever want to go back to this one. And for a good reason, because I think it's really cool as well. It gives you shit to do on your own in Mario Kart, and I like it a lot because of that.
And that's it. That's really all I can say about mission mode in this game, because the general consensus is, oh, mission mode's good, and then move on. So, yeah, that's all I can really add to the pile there. And it's kind of a shame that it never came back, but, you know, you've probably heard that everywhere, and you probably have that opinion too. In Mario Kart 10, please put mission mode in there.
But they put it in Mario Kart Tour.
Stop doing that.
So yeah, Mario Kart DS is cool sometimes. I like the emblem maker as well. You know, they should bring that back. Alright, on to the next one. I have been saying a lot of stupid, goofy shit for the entire duration of this video, but I'm gonna need you to hear me out once more. Mario Kart Wii is, and always will be, my favorite. And you'll probably agree with that too, because it was the best-selling Mario Kart game until Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came around. So there's a 99% chance you've played it. It has some of my favorite tracks in the entire series. The controls feel so responsive, and all my problems with all the other Mario Karts are pretty much gone here. It was also my very first Mario Kart, and it's brought some of my most favorite gaming memories with my dad and my friends, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. But fucking hell, this game is not perfect. Item balance is a shitstorm and a half. If you're playing with a cart, the controls coat your tires with a jar of cooking oil and a big ol' middle finger and expect you to get by with that. Visually, this game is pretty rough around the edges, and they also murdered battle mode. And after how good it was in DS, you don't fuck with battle mode. But anyways, let's get to the good shit. This game is by far the most nostalgic Mario Kart I have. I love pretty much every Nitro track in this game. Mushroom Gorge, Coconut Mall, Toad Factory, Daisy Circuit, Koopa Cape, Moo Moo Meadows, Maple Treeway, Wario's Gold Mine, Moonview Highway. I probably just listed every fucking track in the game, because they're all so good. And that's not to mention the fact that this game has the best Rainbow Road in the entire series. Fuck you, Mario Kart 7! Kill yourself! Now, I can admit, I don't necessarily have a reason for liking a lot of these, and they're all probably carried by my nostalgia, but I don't care. I think these have to be some of the most creative tracks in the entire series. Driving through a super packed shopping mall, a city by the water during sunset, just gunning it down a waterfall into the goddamn ocean, racing on a volcano that's literally crumbling around you, or just taking a peaceful drive through a farm full of cows. Because sometimes we enjoy the simple things in life. Now let's wind it back to the items for a second. The balancing itself is really fucking goofy most of the time, but the items themselves are still great, and this game adds 3 new ones. I know I haven't been keeping track of the items that have been added in all the other Mario Karts, but fuck you, I'm gonna go through these ones. The Mega Mushroom was such a cool item to me when I was a fucking small little child. child, but it's kind of just a nerfed star in all honesty. The POW block, which I could see being super useful if it wasn't super useless, and the thundercloud. I'm about to get fucking assassinated for this opinion, but it's fucking cool! I think the idea of an item that starts as harmful to you is really cool. You have to pass it off to other people. I think the hot potato mechanic really adds something to the races. Mario Kart's been known for its bullshit, and this item is bullshit incarnate. And you know, even though I think the item balancing is super insane in a lot of ways, that adds a lot to the fun with friends. Except for the blue shell.
It's crazy. I swear to God, I'm just racing, doing my own thing, having fun, and then 3 blue shells hit me throughout the race. One of them being right on the final lap before I'm about to cross the finish line. Like, public service announcement. It is never okay to hit someone with a blue shell right as you're about to cross the finish line on the 3rd lap. Doesn't matter what Mario Kart you're playing, doesn't matter what the fuck the context is, that's never okay in any circumstance. Unless I'm the one doing it.
Now, I never got to play this game online, and that kinda sucks, because at the prime age of 17, FOMO is starting to hit me harder than ever. Unfortunately, I don't really care enough to set it up, and also I'm gonna get fucking washed if I try. I'm probably in the minority here when I say this, but fuck it, I'm gonna say it anyways. There are probably multiple hitmen just waiting to take my life force away anyways, for my opinions. I don't think Mario Kart competitively is very fun. I feel the same way about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's competitive scene, but everyone picks the same character in Kart and wins every race by using sweat tactics. If you enjoy playing the game this way, that's fine, more power to you, I won't knock you for it. I do it with Smash Bros, for God's sake, and hell, I'm not even saying using sweat tactics in Mario Kart is inherently a bad thing. I pull them out every now and then. But, I don't know, when everyone's doing the exact same shit in the exact same way, it kinda just sucks the fun out of the game for me. Anyways, they fixed retro tracks in this game, and all the retro tracks in this game are way more interesting by far. They cut SNES and GBA courses down to 2 tracks each, which is super important in my opinion, as I think they're still some of the least interesting tracks in these new games. Not bad by any means, they just don't got a lot going on is all. Also, for some reason, this game had a file select screen. I don't get why, but it's whatever. I also feel like I'd be doing this game a massive disservice if I wasn't gonna mention the community. Not only are the online servers back up, which is great for the people who want to play online, but also the modding scene is really, really huge and really, really cool. I haven't messed around with any of the mods, but I think they're still really, really cool. But I've left out Mario Kart Wii's biggest sin, and that's the fact that it ruined battle mode, and ever since this game, it's been dog shit in every other game. I won't stay on this point for a super long time because I used up my rant in the online section, but Mario Kart Wii really ruined Balloon Battle. It's timed, there's no penalty for losing all your balloons, you're forced onto teams, and it's essentially just team score attack. And it really sucks that battle mode sucks in this game, because Delfino Pier and Funky Stadium are like the coolest fucking battle maps in the entire series. If these were in any other Mario Kart, except for the ones that come after this, they would be amazing. And then there's Coin Runners, which you would think would be pretty similar to Shine Runners. It's not, it's lame, but hey, it's better than Balloon Battle, so I guess I'll take it.
So, in the grand scheme of things, Mario Kart Wii is my favorite Mario Kart. No, that's not exactly an original opinion, but to be fair, what opinion is anymore? Because we live in the year 2022. People have been making YouTube videos about this fucking game for years and years and years. Everyone loves this game, and if you don't, I hate you. Even though I can admit it's not the best Mario Kart, it's definitely my favorite.
How can something be your favorite but not the best in your opinion? That makes no goddamn sense.
You make no sense.
That one's pretty good, Tyler. You stay up all night thinking of that?
Yeah, actually, because the car seats here are so fucking uncomfortable because we're in the middle of summer. California summer. It's so hot. It's so fucking hot in here. I have to strip naked every night just to get a wink of sleep, and it never works.
Huh. Sounds like you should have paid your fucking bills, dude.
Cut to the next section.
Wait, hold on. What are you doing? Mario Kart 7 holds a very special place in my heart. It was the second game I got on my 3DS, and I loved it at the time. But looking back at it now, yeah, this shit's kinda lame. Don't get me wrong, it was great for the time. But Mario Kart 8 outdid literally everything new here, so looking back at this one, it's one of the most useless Mario Karts to go back to. I know that statement doesn't really have any weight to it, because let's be honest, all of them are now. But as I said, Mario Kart 8 did everything this game did way better. Mario Kart 7 takes all the good shit from Wii and DS and crams it all together with some odd things left out. I mean, for God's sake, they left out the single player versus mode, so if you want to play a specific track by yourself, you have to sit through a Grand Prix or play time trials. Though time trials is honestly a pretty good substitute in this game for versus races. I realize I haven't brought it up throughout the video, but time trials is one of my favorite things about Mario Kart. Racing against yourself to get the best time on a track, something about that just really feels great. And in this game, you can race 7 ghosts at a time. That's pretty cool. Though when you realize that this is the closest you'll get to ever emulating a versus race in this game, it's kinda lame. Even though I just said that this is a pretty useless Mario Kart to go back to, it was the most influential, as it adds 2 huge gameplay mechanics that have stuck with the series since: underwater driving and gliding. Both don't really seem to add a whole lot on the surface, but it's when you really dig into the track design itself when you start to realize these are sick-ass mechanics. Especially water, that's been a hazard in every other Mario Kart game, but now you can just drive right through it, and it's a blast. In fact, a lot of the retro tracks that had water in them, you can go through them now, which is really cool. But as a kid, I thought the gliding was way cooler. I fucking love this, man. And there are some tracks in the game that give you complete freedom while gliding as well. Specifically Rock Mountain and Maka Woohoo. There are these segments where you launch off a glider ramp and glide all the way down. Speaking of the tracks, they're again really fucking good. Shy Guy Bazaar, Daisy Hills, Music Park, Piranha Plant Slide, Rock Mountain, DK Jungle, Neo Bowser City, and fucking Woohoo Island? The Woohoo Island tracks are easily some of my favorite in the entire series, as they let you drive all throughout Woohoo Island. In Wii Sports, all you could really do is... But here it's just a full-ass racetrack, and there are 2 of them, one taking you around the entire island, and one making you go up the volcano. I specifically remember using that one skip on Maka Woohoo to save my time trials time, and it showed me at the top of the leaderboard for quite a while. I'd love to show proof, but... And again, we get more of the creativity and execution that we saw in Wii here. A track where you just fly freely down a mountain. A track that scores itself as you drive. Hell, even a track that's a whole-ass love letter to Donkey Kong Country Returns. And that's what really helps me get it up. Because if you couldn't already tell by my old shit-ass intro, Donkey Kong Country Returns holds a very special place in my heart. And then there's 3DS's Rainbow Road, which is one of the best tracks in the entire series. But let's be honest, it can't beat Wii's Rainbow Road. I know literally everyone thinks 3DS's Rainbow Road is the best in the entire series, and to an extent I will agree, it's really fucking good, but... Actually, no, I'm not even gonna say that word. And as for the retro tracks, I'm gonna say it, this is where retro tracks peaked. Not counting the Booster Course Pass, because that's cheating. They really picked the best of the best for this game. Coconut Mall, Mushroom Gorge, Waluigi Pinball, Airship Fortress, Koopa Beach, Calamari Desert, Maple Treeway, Koopa Cape, Daisy Cruiser, DK Pass. Fuck, I'm out of breath! I just listed every single retro track in the game, and that's because they're all amazing. Though I wish I could say the same about the Nitro tracks. If you remember like a minute ago when I said that there's some good Nitro tracks in this game, well, this game is also home to some of the most forgettable tracks in the entire series. Cheap Cheap Lagoon, like Cheap Cheap Beach from Mario Kart DS, Rosalina's Ice World. Is it not enough that she had a fucking spaceship, now she has to have a whole ass ice world? That was corny. Anyways, the music is great as always. I think the menus are a little too dependent on Wii for my liking, but it's Mario Kart music, so it's great. Yet another thing I forgot to mention with all the other Mario Karts, but the music in every single game is fantastic. It helps fit the mood with all the tracks, and you've heard it throughout this video. It's all pretty good shit. In fact, I think it might be better than rap.
You have no swag!
Now, I don't really have anything else to say about Mario Kart 7. It's kind of mid looking back at it. Like, yeah, it's Mario Kart, but everything introduced here just got better in the next entry. But I guess it kind of shows how good this one was for the time.
Alright, now we're finally on to Mario Kart 8, and...
No, Tyler, slow down.
What do you mean?
You're forgetting about the arcade games and the RC car toy.
Fuck.
Alright, I'll be quick with this one. The Mario Kart arcade games exist and they're pretty fun. I only remember playing Arcade GP 1 once at a Chuck E. Cheese with one of my friends at a birthday party. Poggers! And it was pretty cool, and I never played 2, unfortunately. But I have played Arcade GP DX a lot, so I'm just gonna talk about that one in this section. It's really fucking fun. Even current US President Joe Biden agrees. It's really just Mario Kart in the arcade. I'd be really concerned if it wasn't, but the track design and controls work a little different to how they work in the main series. It's nothing super noticeable, and you probably won't give a shit, but it's definitely there. The tracks are extremely simple with no obstacles. It's really only about the driving. And when selecting a character, you're given 3 random items that you can get from a coin. What a riveting change. I might have to make a fucking video essay on that. Also, I just want to say that this is definitely the most lively feeling Mario Kart. I think Mario Kart 8 looks better with the higher polycounts and better lighting, and just overall better everything. But man, I really like the way the arcade game looks. The characters have this little idle bounce that they do when driving. The colors pop in a way that really makes you feel like Mario. And the announcer is just annoying. But it's charming, so I don't give a fuck. Other things that are different here is that any item can lock onto an opponent like a red shell. And drifting works super different here. I'm probably gonna explain this really shittily, but you have to press down on the drift pedal to go into a drift, and you have to hold your position while turning to charge up a boost. You can even change directions while doing this without losing your boost, and to boost you have to straighten the car back up. I definitely didn't understand how this worked for like the first 30 races I've tried with this, but I understand it now. And hopefully you do now as well. Also, in drifting, you're given a shield that deflects items, which I think is pretty cool. It adds some depth to the item play in here, which overall is just kinda samey and boring. Anyways, I don't really have that much else to say about it, so let's talk about the Japanese version. Since arcades are way more prevalent in Japan, they added a saving feature to Mario Kart Arcade GP DX over there, letting you, of course, save your progress across multiple machines. They also added downloadable characters and costumes to that version. The game even has online play over there, letting you connect to other machines throughout Japan. Also, all the arcade Mario Karts have guest characters from other Namco franchises. Of course, you can't have a Namco cameo without Pac-Man, that's a given. He's in all 3 of them, but in Arcade GP DX, he is the shitty Ghostly Adventures design, and my god, this pisses me off to an ungodly amount. Don-chan from the Taiko no Tatsujin series also makes an appearance here, and he has 2 tracks based on him. I love me some Taiko no Tatsujin, and seeing as how it's one of the biggest arcade games in Japan, it makes sense that he's here. Then there's the other spin-off, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. While I haven't played it, I want to. It seems like a little fun novelty that I'll play for a total of 24 hours and put it down forever. Let's just see how much it is. $99?! That's like 1/3 of the goddamn system you're playing this shit on! Anyway, these are funny. Let's look at the best one now.
For this first portion, I'm going to be talking about base Mario Kart 8. And even though I'm going to be using footage from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I don't give a shit. It's easier to get footage for that. And I don't have Mario Kart 8 anymore. I sold it. Fuck you.
Remember earlier when I said Mario Kart Wii was my favorite Mario Kart, but it wasn't the best? Well, we're here. This is the best one. I was so excited for this game. It was one of the first 2 games I got alongside my Wii U. I got New Super Mario Bros. U, which also came with New Super Luigi U as well. So I technically got 3 games. That was a good day. Mario Kart 8, objectively speaking, is the best Mario Kart. It's got the tightest controls, the most content, item balance that doesn't make me want to kill myself, and some of the best graphics in any Nintendo game. Seriously, for how underpowered the Wii U is, this game looks beautiful. It's gonna sting a lot more later, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I could talk about Mario Kart 8 all day until I die and then be reincarnated with the sole purpose of doing all that again. So that's what I'm gonna do. The music in this game is the best in the entire series. They got a big band to do the soundtrack, and it sounds fucking amazing. It's also the first time in the series where all the tracks have unique music. Not anymore, though. It makes every track feel even more unique, and pretty much every moment of every part of this game has music to it. Even moments throughout the tracks. I know older Mario Karts did this too, but it's even better here. And the music on the tracks, just fucking listen to Dolphin Shoals, it'll tell you everything. That's some good shit. Now you wanna know what isn't good shit? The character select. That's just shit. Alright, I know everyone dogs on this game's character select, and for good reason. Most of it is just turtles and lead poisoning. But personally, I don't give a fuck because Luigi's here and I play as him in everything. So I would list all the good tracks in this game, but I'd just be listing literally everything. Except for Bone Dry Dunes, Twisted Mansion, and Rainbow Road, because nothing can be perfect. And the retro tracks, like I said, they peaked in 7, but they still have some really good ones here. Moo Moo Meadows, Music Park, Cheap Sheep Beach, TikTok Clock, Royal Raceway, Piranha Plant Slide, Toad's Turnpike. You have a few odd picks in here like Grumble Volcano, but even tracks like that are still fun as hell and look beautiful here. And all of those tracks look and feel like they were remade from the ground up and have some new mechanics in there to compensate that. Except Music Park. That one was already good to begin with. And the layouts for the tracks in these games feel way more dynamic because of the new gimmick, anti-gravity. It doesn't really add much to the game initially when you're playing it, but once you take a step back and see, the tracks now twist and turn all around and make you go on walls and do all sorts of crazy shit. Just like underwater and gliding, it seems like such a nothing addition, but once you take a step back and realize that the track design benefits heavily from it, you start to appreciate it a lot more. And then there's battle mode. It's kinda here. Mario Kart 8 keeps up with the modern tradition of Mario Kart, fucking up the battle mode. I'll be honest here, I think the way Mario Kart 8 handled battle mode, it had potential, but not like this. Having battle mode on actual tracks is a shit idea that just ends up with people hiding and camping for most of the game. But what if I propose the idea of racing with balloons? Whether or not you think that's a good idea or not, that's your own business, but I want to get it out of the way right here. Mario Kart 8's battle mode is the worst one in the entire series. Anyways, back when people were starting to get a little tired of Mario Kart 8, Nintendo swooped in with some DLC for this game. Nowadays, this would petrify me beyond belief because Nintendo likes to release their games unfinished now and mass completing them as adding DLC. But back then, this was super exciting. New characters, new carts, new tracks for $12? Fucking sign me up, dude. I never really cared about the characters and carts as much as I did the tracks, though they did add Link, Villager, and Isabelle, which is cool as hell. And we haven't gotten any Nintendo characters outside of Mario in the Mario Kart series before, since DS. But whatever, it's cool. And I didn't really care about the new carts either, other than the B-Dasher, because it's like the best fucking one. And Nintendo knows it too, because they bring it back all the damn time. So I'm not the biased one, they are. They also have the Blue Falcon in here, the car from F-Zero. Huh. I wonder what that could mean. Yoshi Circuit from Double Dash, Rainbow Road from the SNES. Kind of funny how SNES Rainbow Road is the best Rainbow Road in Mario Kart 8. Wario's Gold Mine from the Wii, Ribbon Road, and Cheeseland from the GBA, which don't even feel like GBA tracks anymore. And like I said, this DLC has a few new tracks as well, some of which are also references to other Nintendo franchises, like Excitebike Arena, Hyrule Circuit, Animal Crossing, and Mute City and Big Blue from F-Zero. So that's what that meant. You know, it's bad when even Nintendo knows we're never getting another F-Zero game, so they just threw F-Zero into Mario Kart. But thinking about it that way, we've kind of come full circle now. And we can't forget the Mercedes DLC! It's funny. Anyways, Mario Kart 8's amazing. But it wasn't perfect. It had a lot of little imperfections that really needed to be ironed out. But the game was stranded on the Wii U and finished by that point. So Nintendo brought it back! I'm not giving this one its own thing. I seriously could not give less of a shit. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was released on the Nintendo Switch in 2017, and instead of getting a new Mario Kart on the Switch, we got a port that tidies up a lot about the game, and adds a few new things like characters, double items, the Boo item, which skipped out on the original Mario Kart 8, and a few new carts. Oh yeah, and a completely new battle mode. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe keeps up with the modern tradition of Mario Kart, fucking up battle mode. Nintendo knew they fucked up the first time and tried their hardest to make it good here. And to be fair, it's a lot better since I can actually have fun in this one. But it's not perfect and it's easily still the worst part of the game. They give you 5 battle modes and 8 maps. Small problem already. When there's 48 tracks in the base game, it makes me feel like battle mode here was super underbaked. Other Mario Karts have had more than 8 maps in the past, so it makes me think at minimum here they could have had like 14. And it's not like the maps we have are super original or anything. Outside of the retro tracks and Urchin Underpass from Splatoon, all of the themes here are all derivative from already existing track themes. And even with that in mind, they could have done a lot more here. And as for the 5 battle modes, oh boy, I'm gonna get cooked again. Renegade Roundup is shit and I'm tired of pretending it's not. Everyone who's caught is thrown into a jail cell. However, anyone free on that team can free everyone from the cell by running into the lock. This mode is fine on paper, but some of the maps are just not made for it. Take Battle Course 1, where the only lock is in the middle. If you're only gonna have one jail, I propose the idea of having it on a timer, because with the way it's designed now, you can just circle the cell like a hawk and dive in whenever people get caught. If not a timer, then I don't know, honestly. It's like playing that one skateboarding minigame from Mario Party 1 where it's completely stacked against one person, and it's fucking bad. Anyways, Coin Runners is here, and it's worthless once again! I don't think this mode has been ever fun because it wasn't Shine Runners. If it was like that, then people would like it. One could say that this one's worse than Renegades because at least in Renegades shit happens even though it's bullshit. And I agree with you. Balloon Battle's fine. Honestly, the only problem with it is the fact that it has a time limit. If they got rid of it, then it'd be great. It's also not elimination either, which kind of defeats the purpose of the mode, but whatever, it's fine here. Bob on Blast from Double Dash is back. It's kind of just worse Balloon Battle. Then there's Shine Thief, and this is the best one by far. It's the one I want to play the most whenever I play Battle Mode, and it easily outranks every other mode here. Other than Battle Mode, everything about Mario Kart 8 is here, and it's way better here. I was so hooked on it. The initial prospect of being able to play Mario Kart 8 wherever the hell I wanted was so cool back in 2017, but now I'm kinda sick of it. We've had the same Mario Kart for almost 10 years at this point, after all. I'm joking, of course. I still think Mario Kart 8 is the best Mario Kart. Wii is still my favorite, but Mario Kart 8 is just overall the best package you could ever ask for. And like with the original DLC on the Wii U, the Booster Course Pass helped breathe a lot more interest into the game for me when I was starting to get super bored with it.
Alright, that's the entire Mario Kart series. Except for one of them.
Wait, what? No, you went over everything. You went over all the console games, the arcade games, the RC car, and Tour.
No, I didn't talk about Tour.
Yeah, you did, in the spin-off section.
No, I deliberately left Tour out of that section because Nintendo sees Tour as a mainline game for some reason. So let's talk about it now. Except we can't get into it right away, because unfortunately, while I was writing the script for this video, Nintendo thought it'd be really funny to get rid of the main reason why me and a lot of other people hated Tour. And unfortunately, that made up most of my script. So I have to rewrite that. And at the moment, I haven't done that yet. So I'm a bit fucked at the moment. So keep this into consideration. I don't know what the script's gonna fucking look like right now because as I'm recording this, the update isn't out yet. So whenever I do rewrite it, just know that some of the section might be outdated or wrong because of the new update. I still would like to discuss what the game was like before the update, because I am not letting Nintendo get away with what they did before, because I don't prefer it. Cut to future me and do the fucking thing.
So, let's take a look at how Tour was to start. It wasn't very great, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Let's take a look at the few things that Tour was good at and is still good at. The character roster, for one, is the best in the entire franchise. Not only do they have characters that have been missing in action for years like Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Petey Piranha, and Birdo, but a bunch of new characters too like Kamek, Monty Mole, Hammer Bro, Nabbit, King Babam, and Dixie Kong. It'd be even better if you could just unlock them without luck being involved, but it's okay, Tour fixed that in the update, so it doesn't matter. Let's talk about something else. The original tracks are pretty cool. Tour's main gimmick is that all the new tracks are based on real-world cities. So you have tracks like Paris Promenade, Los Angeles Laps, New York Minute, Berlin Byways, and London Loop. Of course, you have an oddball non-city track every so often like Merry Mountain, Ninja Hideaway, and Sky High Sunday. But other than that, these tracks are all really good. Ninja Hideaway in particular is fucking insane. After it was added into Mario Kart 8, it's probably one of my top 5 favorite tracks in the entire series. Shame you can't play these tracks whenever, or with good controls. And honestly, that's where the good stuff ends with Tour. Well, at least it was before the update. Now let's talk about the bad. Tour likes to do this thing where they have 4 versions of each track. The regular version, a reverse version, a trick version, and a reverse trick version. Trick versions of tracks only just add a bunch of trick ramps. Very clever, Nintendo. On paper, I have no problem with this. It's essentially just remixing all the tracks and giving you more stuff to play. I actually think it's really cool, and it's an idea that I'm not really opposed to. But here's the catch. Every single tour, you get like 16 different versions of the same track, and 3/4 of them are these fucking dumbass variants. Sometimes they even repeat across multiple tours too. A track can show up once, and then again, but you play it in reverse, and then again with a bunch of trick ramps, and then again with the trick ramps. That's like if variety has gone out the fucking window. And since the tracks available are dependent on the tour going on, you're stuck with these fucking variants and repeated tracks for 2 weeks at a time, and they only put like 5 different tracks in each tour anyways. So it just ends up being super repetitive and honestly kinda lazy. Considering how many tracks Tour has access to, you would think that they would let you play all of them, but nope. Now look, I get that this does have some merit to it. I just personally don't like that literally every fucking track is the exact same. That's like if I was gonna play Smash Brothers, but I could only play on the same 6 few stages. Okay, bad example, but you get what I mean. Every track also has these favorite drivers, which means certain characters get more item slots and bonuses depending on who you pick. I think this works in concept because it lets you try out different characters, which is great because they all have special items again. But now it's really annoying because they make a lot of the favorite drivers the high-end characters, which are the rarest variety. On a lot of the first tracks added to Tour, you'd be able to get by with basic-ass Luigi on a lot of those tracks. But now you'd be lucky if you could even have 2 item slots. They also bring back mission mode, which is cool. That's it, it's just cool. I'm happy mission mode could come back in some way. I'm a little disappointed that time trials are just missions, because I feel like that'd be a great way to play whatever track whenever you want, but whatever. And then there's unlocking the characters. Do you remember earlier when I said luck had to be on your side for it? I really meant it. Tour used to be a gacha game. Now I've shown my gambling tendencies in the past on the channel, but I can assure you that I've only spent $10 on this game, and I still have buyer's remorse because of that. Also, about the characters, about half the roster is delegated to costumes and clone characters, which is fine. I like giving characters alternate costumes, and it's something I really want regular Mario Kart to do. But Detective Baby Rosalina, Koala Baby Mario, like 500 different versions of Mario and Peach. We'll get back to actually getting the characters in a bit. For now, I think my character roster is pretty decent. I have fuck all for my high-end lineup, so that's a little annoying, but for the most part, if I were to play through the cups, I'd be good. But even playing through the tracks are weird. This is probably just a me thing, but I really don't like that Tour's main mode you see when you boot up the game technically isn't even a racing mode. It's a score attack game where you constantly get points for performing tricks, interacting with physics objects, hitting people with items, and drifting. And you know, it's kind of fun. But I think the point of a racing game should always be the fact that it's, you know, racing. I don't know, it really just bothers me. I know this probably works a lot better for a mobile game, but having this as a separate mode would work a lot better. I think the concept is decent, and it should come back for another Mario Kart, but having the actual racing be exclusive to the multiplayer is stupid. Speaking of, the multiplayer is probably the best part of Tour gameplay-wise, but I still have a few issues with it. You remember how I said tracks are completely dependent on what characters you have in the single player? Yeah, that's also the case in the multiplayer, but only sometimes. There's no reason to do this in the multiplayer, and even then, why only some of the time? It'd make more sense for everyone to be on the same playing field if it's a multiplayer game, but you can have a situation where someone who buys literally every high-end the second they come out with 3 full item slots get matched with little Timmy who only has Koopa Troopa and Toad with 1 item slot. Also, multiplayer came out months after the game came out. Wasn't multiplayer like the entire selling point of Mario Kart? You just had to inject this game with a little bit of finish it later syndrome. Now I know what you're gonna say. But Tyler, that's Tour before the update. You have to give us a fair review by talking about what's different. Alright, you know what? There, he's dead. Bear, come over here. What's going on? Oh my god, you shot this guy! Yeah, you're up. You're the new straw man. This is how it should have been ever since you showed up. Say the line. Okay. That's Tour before the update. You have to give us a fair review by talking about what's different now. And you're completely right. So what's different? Well, not much. Guess I shouldn't have made a big deal about rewriting my script, but I'm still gonna talk about it. Firstly, let's talk about Battle Mode, which I really wasn't looking forward to all that much. Not only because it was Tour, but Mario Kart has been fucking up Battle Mode for the last few games, so after giving it a try, how is it? Well, it still gives you the single player tactic of giving you item boxes depending on the character you pick. Alright, not looking good so far. But then I started playing, and honestly, I kind of enjoyed it. First of all, when you lose all your balloons, you're out, plain and simple. And honestly, thank God for that. It's been so long since we've had actual elimination in battle mode, so I'm so happy it's here. But when you're out, it's not all over. You can still participate. You're put on the sidelines and can throw items onto the main field, Bomberman style. It acts as a way for people who got out to still participate, but also acts as a way to put pressure on the people still playing by pushing them inward. Though unfortunately, the timer's still around, which is a bit annoying. I do see why they did it. Battle mode here is primarily meant to be played online, and the timer helps condense matches down further and makes it so they don't run on forever. Also, matches in this game end fairly quickly, so the timer barely comes up, though I wish it still wasn't a thing. DS is still the king of battle mode, and honestly, even if Tor fixed it all, it'd still be the case. With Tor's control scheme, you can't break it all, but we'll get back to that later. To be fair to Tor right now, this is probably the best it's been since DS. I already went over how Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's balloon battle is just kind of okay, and you might say the same thing here, but with these two changes, Tor kind of struck a balance. So even if it's not perfect, battle mode here is still pretty fun, so good on Tor for having one W. So, what else did this update add? Oh, well, nothing much. It just removed the gacha. Yes, the big thing that everyone hated this game for is gone. But is the game better without it? It's kind of hard to say. Looking at it on paper, yes, objectively, removing gacha is the best thing they could have done. Gacha has been proven to prey on people with gambling addictions and create them within people. So I'd say what we have now is much better. With that said though, I think what we have now is almost as predatory as gacha was in this game. You know how most mobile games have a currency? And then the actual currency you have to pay actual money for? This game has that too. And the actual currency was what you used to fire the pipe. The pipe is a random selection of carts, gliders, and most importantly, characters. You could pay 5 rubies to fire the pipe once, and 45 to fire it 10 times. This was a pretty shit thing to do when the game launched because rubies, the premium currency, were almost impossible to get for free, and if you wanted to fire the pipe 10 times, which would give you a higher chance of getting something you wanted, you would have to shell out $27 US. Do you know how much drugs and alcohol you could buy with that? Because I don't. Now, they did make rubies a lot easier to get for free, but it certainly still wasn't enough for you to reliably get what you wanted because it obviously completely relied on luck. But that was then. This is now. And what's different? Well, there used to be a shop you could buy stuff in with coins, the free currency. And now there's a Spotlight shop, which has high-end items. Well, that's great, they clearly fixed the issue. Well, by this point, you probably should have realized that it's not in this game's character to do something right without there being a catch to it, so let's see how they fucked it up! Holy shit! You could totally buy even more drugs and alcohol with that, yet Nintendo expects us to waste our money on the 57th Mario outfit. By the way, to get a character, you have to spend 150 rubies, and the maximum amount of rubies you can buy at a time is $135. How much do you have to pay for that? $70 US. You could buy a full-price Switch game with that money and have way more fun you could ever have with Mario Kart Tour. Hell, if you somehow don't have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you can buy that and have way more fun than you ever could muster from this game. I just don't see how anyone could get behind this, before or after gacha. Getting rubies is a lot easier now, yes, but that doesn't excuse these prices. And it doesn't change the fact that they did have gacha in the game in the first place. It's not like everyone who spent hundreds of dollars with the chance to get the new Mario outfit of the week are magically gonna get that money back. They've interacted with a shit mechanic and paid the price, literally. You might say it's their fault, but what really rubs me the wrong way is that Nintendo turns so many people into whales over fucking Mario Kart of all things. And then they turn around and do this, which is also really predatory and honestly nothing more than a band-aid fix for a terrible practice. And just to go back to the fundamentals for a second, I completely brushed over the gameplay, which is the main draw of Mario Kart. And it doesn't control great, but that's okay, because we've looked at other Mario Karts that only controlled good, and they were great, but that's not the case here. The karts move so damn slow, and the steering assist is way too strict. It barely feels like you have any say in what you do other than turning left or right slightly. It doesn't feel good. I get that it's a mobile game, but I still genuinely can't understand why so many fucking people continue to play this shit. But it's okay. If you want to go faster, you can pay for a fucking subscription service to unlock 200cc. What the fuck? I could keep going. I really could. But I've gone on for long enough. I apologize that I essentially just turned this segment into a giant rant, but this game just really disappoints me with what it stands for in the Mario Kart series. Hell, just Nintendo as a whole. For every neat thing in here, there's like 5 shit things that drag it down, and it's really upsetting. I'm throwing this last bit at the end here because I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to talk about this again, and I kind of just want to. Don't worry, it's not going to be as long as the tour section, I promise. But like with the tour segment, I wrote an entire section for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass around the time it came out. And yeah, I wrote most of the script for this video in like June, so that really shows you how my work ethic shows through. But then I eventually decided to throw that script out and rewrite it because 1, I realized it's not really a big deal at all. They're just Mario Kart tracks, and even if it's just low-effort DLC ported from a mobile game, let's be honest here, it's really not that fucking deep. Sure, the graphics are still undeniably disappointing, especially when compared to base Mario Kart 8, but Nintendo's been listening to a lot of the feedback, adding underwater segments to some of the tracks, anti-gravity to some of them, and also, the new ones look a lot better. Wave 3 in particular, there are some good-ass looking tracks in here. And I'll be completely honest here, the tracks not looking like the ones in Mario Kart 8 doesn't bother me that much, because come 2023, half the tracks in the game are gonna be in this art style. And the way I see it, these are just bonus tracks, which is fitting because that's what retro tracks were always meant to be, and that's what this DLC is entirely made out of. You can argue with me about this, and I'll accept it, and hell, I'll even agree with you to an extent. But as far as I'm considered, I don't really care. Nintendo definitely should have done better, but I honestly couldn't be bothered. And the tracks themselves, well, I already talked about how Ninja Hideaway is one of my personal favorites. Snowland is super fun here. Mushroom Gorge and Waluigi Pinball don't really need to be explained why they're so great because they were so great before. Choco Mountain's pretty cool, and I really like that the city tracks from Tour use all the different variants and combine them all so they change every lap. It's something like this that adds more depth to what are admittedly pretty basic tracks. And out of all of them, Sydney Sprint is definitely my favorite because of the layout and how the track changes. And with Wave 3, you can add Berlin Byways, Merry Mountain, and Peach Gardens to that list. Specifically Peach Gardens, I really like that the last lap is backwards. Calamari Desert from the N64 even got another variant from Tour where you go inside the train tunnel, and they added that to the track here, and honestly it makes it a lot more interesting in my opinion. Of course, there are a few lame tracks in here, like Tour's shit-ass excuse for Sky Garden and Toad Circuit. Seriously, out of every 3DS track, you picked this one? With Rainbow Road being the last 3DS track they chose to put in these as well, that makes it all the more disappointing. Bring back the fucking Woohoo tracks and I'll be interested. I'm decently excited to see what else they add. As of me recording this, we're only up to Wave 4. And with the leaks that came out a while ago, which were confirmed by Wave 3's existence, there's some really cool tracks in here. I won't spoil any of them, of course, because you probably want to be surprised, but the information's out there if you want to see it. Go look for it yourself, you lazy bastard. And at the end of the day, they're new tracks. I really don't care how they look. I wanted new tracks, you probably wanted new tracks, so stop bitching about it now that you have it. Hey, this is Editing Tyler here. I recorded this with Wave 3 being the most recent. Wave 4 just came out. As of me recording this, I just got done playing it. DK Summit sucks now. Amsterdam Drift is kind of shit. Singapore Speedway is the new best tour track. Waluigi Stadium is really, really fucking good. I liked Mario Circuit a lot more than I thought, and the other ones are just okay. Also, the character roster is automatically so much better, and we don't even know the other 5 characters yet, so good job, Nintendo. You did something awesome.
Alright, now we're done for real. Now, Mario Kart's a series that I hold near and dear to my heart. Even throughout all the missteps in the series, like fucking up Sky Garden, removing Wiggler, and screwing up Battle Mode, I don't care. Mario Kart's always a series that I'm gonna cherish. And I didn't even talk about the multiplayer all that much. If Mario Kart's known for one thing, it's known for fucking ruining your friendships with your closest lifelong friends. And, well, that's something that's stayed with the entire series. The absolute beauty of Mario Kart is that you can cram 4 people who have never met each other in their entire life, stick them on a couch, get them all in a game of Mario Kart, and it's like they've been friends forever. Like, other multiplayer games definitely have their merit to them, but there's something special about Mario Kart, and I don't really know why. Even though we haven't gotten a new good entry in a while, I don't think I really care that much. I think Mario Kart, down to its base formula, I feel like it's been perfected with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it's to a point where I'd honestly be content. I'd be very content, actually, if 8 Deluxe was the last Mario Kart game. Though I'm doing a little bit of lying there, so I'm not exactly completely truthful in that statement. But I'm a Nintendo virgin at heart. But I'm a Nintendo virgin at heart. The next Mario Kart game gets announced, I'm gonna lose my damn mind, that's for sure. That's gonna be insane.
Wow, Tyler, great story. So now that you're done with your second dumbass 40-minute video, what are we gonna do?
Well, Bear, I stole this car. I don't have a plan. I just used this thing as a temporary housing solution.
A temporary solution, Concho. Wait, you stole this car?
Yeah. Dude, I'm 17. I'm broke. Do you think I own a car? Dude, I latch onto semi-truck trailers to get around.
Oh my god, we're criminals. We need to get out of here right now. We need to run!
Well, shit. Okay, I'll drive us. I'll do that.
You killed the battery, you dipshit, and also we can't take the stolen car!
Well, I'll figure something out. The owner will never find... Okay, so for as bad as this looks right now, for what it's worth, I'm sorry.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching the video. It's currently 11 o'clock while I'm recording this, so I'm probably gonna sound really quiet, and this is also not scripted, so apologies for that, but I also don't care, so sorry for not uploading in 6 months. I got hit with a big fat motivational dip, and I was also taking on a bunch of other projects. Also, personal life got in the way. All that shit's over with now. I'm gonna try and be more consistent. I know me uploading my first video in March isn't really indicative of that, but I'm gonna try. You also may have noticed the style in this video is kind of different compared to what I've normally done, specifically with the animation, the sprite bits, and all that. I'm gonna not strive to do that shit in every video because it takes a lot of time. So only really expect to see a lot of animation in like every big video. Every now and then you'll see it in a smaller video, but mainly just the big ones I'm gonna put animation in. I don't know when the next video is gonna come out, but I promise you, it will not take as long as this one did to come out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. It means so much. If you're new, please subscribe and like and all that bullshit. And I'll see you guys real soon.